What's the number one nutrient men are missing? Most men are missing. Why is it hurting your testosterone, your energy levels, and what is working up here or not working up here? So what we've discovered is most guys are missing one crucial nutrient, and that affects your hormones, your energy, your focus, and even your sleep. And chances are you're missing it too. And we're going to be talking about that right after this. Welcome, everybody. This is the Life Enthusiast Health Shots podcast, restoring vitality to you and the planet. I'm your co-host, Scott Patton. Joining us, as usual, Martin Patella, health engineer. Hey, Martin, how are you doing?
Enthusiastically with life.
Well, this is a topic that we both have concerns about because, as you'll see, there's not a lot of colored hair on our heads, which means that generally speaking, in the life cycle of men, testosterone is going down.
You know, no joke. I remember as a 17, 18-year-old, I would get an erection just riding on a bus that would bounce, you know, just the natural rattle.
Right.
It would be just happening. I think my testosterone back then was probably 1,000 mg per DL or whatever the units are, but it's usually measured, 1,000 when you're on the high side and 100 when you're in trouble.
Right.
I don't know what happens below 100, but I know that I feel super manly, decisive, you know, in my zone, 600 to 800. Somebody wants to talk to you.
There was a spam robocall, and man, I keep blocking them, but they keep using different numbers.
Yeah.
So just to see where everybody listening and watching is at, if you're tired by mid-afternoon, and it's not because, like me, you have a sandwich and the carbs cause you to be super alkaline and put you to sleep. If you're struggling with focus, if your memory is not as good as it should be, if you're not sleeping well, and you find you're losing muscle or libido, in other words, when you're on a bus and it's bouncing around, you're not getting hard, like Martin was, or you're dealing with low motivation, mood swings, the chances are it's not just your age, it's the fact that you're low on one particular ingredient. And we're not going to keep it a secret any longer. It's not a rare supplement that you have to have. It's actually a foundational building block of health. And we've talked about it many, many times, and that's magnesium. Over 70% of men are deficient in it. And we've talked often about soil depletion. And I think, Martin, you've mentioned like a study that Congress did and how low the magnesium and the nutrients were. And I remember seeing an article that said sort of the same thing, but it was like from 1930. It was a congressional meeting or committee.
Congressional record 1937. And they were decrying that 80% of mineralization has been lost since the introduction of industrial methods. You know,
which is like 100 years earlier or 50 years earlier than 1930, which means we're almost 100 years later. And
well, here's how they noticed it. You know, when they were first cutting virgin prairie and plowing it in, they would have taller wheat or taller whatever they had on the newest stretch, right? Like, let's just say that you had a 5-year-old farm, and then on the next year you added 6 feet or 10 feet or whatever that you just plowed of the natural prairie. That was the tallest plants because it was the virgin loaded with nutrient soil.
Right. And we never put it back. Sprayed stuff on it, right?
Yeah, they were talking about having lost 80% of that mineralization by 1937. And since then, with the introduction of the NPK, that would be nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, That's the petroleum-based, chemical-based fertilizer, the man-made stuff, right? That clearly only pushes the plant to grow fast, green, strong, but the trace minerals are totally not going.
Right.
So there was no mention of calcium. There was no mention of magnesium or zinc or copper or whatever else all the other stuff is, right?
Yeah. So if you take the fact that everything is grown, not everything, but the majority of food that we eat, particularly the food you get at your local grocery store or warehouse store, is grown in soil that's depleted of the trace minerals. Like, it's amazing how a little thing can make such a huge difference, right? You don't need a ton of copper or a ton of zinc, but if you don't, that little bit that you do need, you're hooped.
Right. So consider this, right? So the daily copper is 3 milligrams, daily zinc 25 milligram. That's just so little. Imagine this: a teaspoon of water is 5,000 milligrams.
Oh.
Okay, so there are 100 drops. So that would suggest that a drop of water is about 50 milligrams. So half of a drop of water in zinc is your daily dose.
And then you need to get it.
Yeah,
so on
you need
top
to get
of
it. That's the thing.
So on top of the soil depletion, the poor diet that we have, you add stress to it. You add alcohol or caffeine, intense workouts even. They all burn through the magnesium that you've got in your body.
Right. So let's just explain why this harping about magnesium. The autonomic nervous system, the thing that you don't usually think about, but that regulates your response, like heart rate and breathing rate and sweating, or all the automatic stuff that goes on in your life. And this autonomic nervous system has two branches, sympathetic and parasympathetic. And that's controlled by the vagus nerve. That's it's an interesting nerve. You should learn about that on a side. But it is controlling all of it. And magnesium is the relax side, and calcium is the get tense, accelerate side. We call the tense side fight or flight, fawn or freeze, and we call the relaxed side rest, repair, and digest. And it also should be reproduce, because fun, sex, that sort of thing happens only when you feel safe.
Right. And also I didn't realize this, but there's testosterone is sort of bound in our bodies in different places. So when you have enough magnesium, it's able to pull it out as you need it. It's not going to pull it out when you don't need it.
Yeah.
Which means you're using more of what you've actually got in your body instead of it just sort of sitting around.
Yeah. So what's really interesting is this testosterone business, is that actually gets released when you're doing physical aggressive things. Like when, for example, you take a dance class, or you punch a bag, or you run, you jump, you bounce. Did I say bounce already?
Yeah.
And
no, I don't know.
All of that stuff that is highly physical, right? Stuff you would expect from
Martin,
a fighter.
You bounce. You have a rebounder.
I do.
How often every day or 2 or 3 days do you bounce on it?
I do it every day, no doubt. And I only do like 10, 12 minutes.
So it doesn't take a lot of time. Like, it's, again, like I was saying, just need a little bit of zinc to make a big difference. Just need a little bit of exercise, and it can make a big difference.
What's really interesting about the rebounder is that every time you're bottoming out in your, as you're landing in, you go down and then it bounces you back up, and you get 2 to 3 G in every bounce, right? And so it accelerates the exercise. So I think in the 10 minutes, I get probably the equivalent of 30 minutes of walking, which is enough to get the circulation going. By circulation, I mean the lymph, moving the fluids in the body. That's really important too, right?
Yep.
But exercise as such, right? Like getting the excitement level up is the fair method by which cortisol gets discombobulated in the body. I remember this one. When I had a corporate job, I was working in a sales, high speed environment. Like it was pressure all day long. Not that I had to, but I chose to. I'm that personality. And at the end of the day, I would go to the gym. And I would do a circuit, a 30-minute circuit, which was a really interesting one. It was a machine for 30 seconds and running for 30 seconds. And the running wasn't really running. It was step thing, right? 2 steps up, 2 steps down, step, 30 seconds. The clock goes boom, then you move to the next machine and you start, I don't know what, pulling down the weight or doing sit-ups or doing this and that. But it was a 30 minutes of high intensity, right? After that, I took a shower and I was feeling as mellow as could be.
Right.
And the mellow was the cortisol has gone away.
Right. You calmed your nervous system.
Yeah, I got rid of the built up nervousness of the day.
We often talk about fight or flight. And oftentimes we talk about it, but oftentimes when you're listening to other people, they don't talk about the other side, because fight or fight. I mean, there's two sides. It's this or that, right? But that's not really true, because there's also rest and relaxation.
Yeah, that's the opposite.
The other side of it. And it's kind of like it's like parentheses around each one if it was a mathematical equation, right?
Yeah.
And you're either on this side or you're either up or you're down. And then if you're up or down, you're on one side or the other side.
Oh, yes, definitely a seesaw.
A seesaw, yeah.
Yeah.
And but if we're always in the fight or flight, the cortisol goes up. We don't relax. We don't get our ATP working the way it should be doing. We're running out of magnesium.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thing worth mentioning, which is this. The fight or flight is indeed triggered by cortisol released by your adrenals. So when you're flooding cortisol into the system, it prepares you for the flight or the fight, which means that all the glycogen reserves, that's your glucose, is mobilized to the muscles or to where you're going to need them, which essentially raises your glucose. Well, if you don't work it off, the body has to take it away. And the system by which it takes it away is to flood it with insulin and turn it into belly fat.
Right.
That's the opposite of a fight-ready man, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. And we need to be prepared, particularly in the world that we live in now.
Yeah. And so I'm noticing that as my years advance, it's easier for me to get more belly fat, and it's harder for me to stay in a fighting shape. So I think I'm losing some of this testosterone level. Yeah, that actually makes sense, because these days it's pretty rare that I wake up with what they call a kickstand. The morning erection, right? Like it's totally acceptable that in young and virile men, you are supposed to wake up with an erection.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Testosterone is being made primarily during that morning hour, just before you get up. Yeah.
So there's another test for you. How are you feeling in the morning?
Yeah.
I want to be with my honey, or I could care less. Give me a breakfast.
Yeah, I couldn't care less. I don't want to get up. Yeah. So there's your manly standard, right? So what do you need? Well, you need to undo the stress in the evening before. That's when you need to take your magnesium bath, in the evening.
Right.
And the reason is it'll make you relaxed. You don't want
So the average person, they get up at 6 or 7, they get to work at 8 or 9, they work till 9 or 6, they get home at 6 or 7. Probably when they get home, depending on whether they feel like they're starving or not, they should go for a run or a bicycle ride or go to the
on
gym.
their way home, they should stop off at the gym and do the half-an-hour circuit or something of the sort.
Yeah, and people that I know and knew who were in a management position, they were all managers of grocery stores. They would all meet at a pub, and there was a bridge, and the bridge was backed up for 5 miles. So they would sit there and they'd have 3 or 4 beer, talk about their days amongst each other, complain about this and complain about that or whatever. And then when the traffic
loading up on carbohydrates.
And they were not tiny, skinny guys, right? So the cortisol is through the roof. They're loading up on carbohydrates. They're not getting any exercise because they get home. Honey, I'm home. Well, here's a meal, darling. And
but by that time, there's no testosterone left.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So what we're saying is you need to be able to rest and relax, and you need to also exercise. And then you need to eat food that's high in magnesium or do something to get magnesium into your body. So Martin, I go to the store, I buy 500 tablets of magnesium, and I think, oh, I'm really low on magnesium. And I take 20 or so into, glug, 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 glug. What happens to me?
It's okay. Magnesium accelerates the digest part. It is an accelerator of the peristalsis in your digestive and eliminative system. You will, if you take that much magnesium, you should not get into a moving automobile because you're going to be overcome by the instant requirement to empty your bowel.
There's no 10-minute warning, is there?
No, it's a 30-second warning, and it's non-negotiable.
So if I'm low on magnesium, I mean, there are foods that we can eat like pumpkin seeds or dark chocolate or leafy greens, avocados. I love avocados, wild salmon. They have some, but that's really not the answer. And so what would be, and supplementation is not really the answer. Like putting it into your mouth, it's a mineral, so it is very difficult for the body to absorb it unless it's like wrapped in a plant or a meat sort of container.
Yeah. Well, there are multiple forms of magnesium. You will find them now because it has been discovered that it's important, and so it gets chelated, right? The most simple form is magnesium chloride, which is what you will see in Dead Sea or ocean or whatever. That's the form that's in the seawater. And we make that available. Magnesium chloride in a bath soak or sprayed on your body is fantastically useful.
Right, but you're not drinking that.
You can take maybe 20 drops of it. If you do more than that, you're going to be hating the taste and don't overdo it.
Right. So what we're talking about is putting something onto your skin or absorbing it through your skin to get the magnesium.
Yeah, and that's the better way. Yeah, but I don't want to discount the oral ones. That there's bisglycinate, which is really absorbable, and then there's the taurate, which will help you with depressive thoughts, and then there's threonate, which will help you with thought processing, with brain power. So there are
and citrate.
Citrate, that's the one that will help you move your bowel if you're constipated.
Oh, there was someone in our fibro group the other day that was saying, "Oh, I am so constipated," and so just get a bunch of magnesium and throw it down and sit in the corner until you're.
Yeah, we call it take magnesium citrate to bowel tolerance, and the tolerance is whatever it takes to make it move just fine.
So let's just walk through this for someone that's saying, okay, I have constipation, I'm going to take this magnesium stuff that Scott and Martin are talking about. What do we do? So let's just say you have a bottle and there's tablets, and I don't know what they look like or if they're gels or whatever, but that's not important. What's important is, do I take one and then I wait 10 minutes? And then do I take 20 and I wait 10 minutes? Do you wait 10 minutes, or is it an hour later before it happens?
Okay. Well, a normal human body takes about 1,200 milligrams of magnesium a day. So if you buy something, it's going to have 150 or 200 milligrams per tablet. So take two, wait half an hour. If nothing happens, take two more. If nothing happens, take two more. But by the time you hit 6, you should be done.
Weight of the races. Yeah.
The wait is over.
The wait is over. Because oftentimes, I listen to people and they're talking about stuff and it's like, yeah, you're giving me kind of, and I know that oftentimes we're all individuals and, it could be 4 for someone and 2 for someone else and 6 for someone else, but you kind of have to figure out how to, like, where to start and then grow, right? Because unlike me, a month ago with the nicotine patch.
Oh, that was a fine adventure.
I was like, it's crazy. My mind is gone. My brain stopped working. I feel terrible.
Yeah. Okay. Let me punch in with something. People also buy supplements that are calcium, magnesium, both at the same time. And so calcium slows you down and magnesium speeds you up in the peristalsis. So if you're taking it together, it's like 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake. You're not going to really move forward. You're just supplying. You're supplying useful nutrients, not wrong. But you should be supplying calcium in the morning to wake you up and get you going, and magnesium in the evening to slow you down and give your body time to overnight, gently process the whole thing and have it ready for a merry elimination first thing in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So this seems like a good time. Let's talk about magnesium oil.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing.
And I happen to have it right here, and I'll just switch over to this page. So there it is.
Yeah. So we sell it in a bottle. I think this is a picture of the 4 ounce. We have it in, this is a picture of a half gallon. We have it in 4 ounces, 12 ounces, 64 ounces in a gallon. So each of those, you get a better deal when you buy a larger quantity.
Right.
If you're into sports, what you want to do is you want to rub this on you before you get on the field, like before you play soccer or before you go running, because when you put it on your muscles, they will be relaxed, right? Magnesium lengthens and relaxes and supports your relaxation. So you'll be phenomenally well. And it supports the metabolic function. So you will also be able to convert your food into energy. You will be a better athlete when you have plenty of magnesium on board. So put it on before you get going, and then sweat up, and then shower it all off.
Yeah, and in that process, you're going to be using up a lot of magnesium, but because you've bulked up on it, if we can put it that way, you're not going to be in a deficient position.
Right. So this aloe vera, that makes it more comfortable on the skin, right? Like straight magnesium oil, which is water-based solution of magnesium chloride, is like seawater, concentrated seawater. So when you leave it on, it feels, well, I don't know if you remember what it feels like when you go swimming in the ocean and then don't shower off.
Right.
It's a crusty kind of skinny, strange feeling on the skin, right?
Yeah. And as we always do, we have the description of the product, and we have details of the product, and some reviews. And then we have what's in it, some ingredients. So you can see.
So with the aloe, it's less concentrated, but way more comfortable.
And then we have instructions, so you can read through it and make sure. Let's talk a little bit about foot soak, because that's something that, a lot of times people they just have showers, they don't really have a tub that they can fill up and put the magnesium in. But the foot, I understand, is really good for absorbing things, and it's easy to just get a couple pans and put some water in, put some magnesium in, and soak.
Yeah. If ever you want to do a demonstration of what your lymphatic system does, cut some garlic open and rub it on the soles of your feet. Within 5 minutes, you'll be tasting garlic in your mouth. It is going to get distributed through the lymph up from the bottoms of your feet. It's that quick. Anyway, so whatever you put your feet into or upon your feet, is going to get distributed throughout your entire body using the lymphatic system pathways.
Cool. Okay, let's talk a little bit about CR supplements. They have a ionic mineral.
Yeah, so this is for people who want stuff to take orally, right? Entire line of the CR is quite interesting. These are ionic in water to be taken orally, and we have every trace mineral that you can think of: zinc, selenium, vanadium, chromium, whatever. But magnesium is in liquid form, so if you're the type that wants to take it orally, added to your drinking water, this is awesome. It's already pre-measured. Your daily dose is about a teaspoon of this. Take it once or twice a day, and you'll be good.
Awesome.
And it's ionic with the other side taken away. So this is kind of unusual.
Okay.
Whatever you dissolve in water, let's just pick on, say, magnesium citrate. That's the citrate as in citric acid. That's the stuff that makes lemons sour.
Yeah.
It's the acid that makes lemons sour. They strip it away. They just leave the magnesium ions.
Oh, in this product.
Yeah.
So what does that make it more absorbable or?
No, just makes it neutral.
Neutral. So it doesn't taste as bad.
No, it's quite dilute. It's easy to take.
So when you say neutral, what do you mean?
It's not acid. It's not alkaline. It's just ionic magnesium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about the ionic?
Easiest to take if you want. If you're the kind of person who needs magnesium on a constant basis, this is a fine way to get it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And I'm going to move now to our Pro Fitness trampolines. Because you do it. Whoops. I don't know what I did. Sorry.
Yeah. We sell two brands of rebounders. The ones that are with bungee cords and the other ones that are with springs.
And I was going to say, I had the one with the bungee cords and I loved it.
Yeah. And it's this way. The bungee cords are really quiet, silent. The springs always squeak a little. So if you want to use it in a place where you don't want to disturb anyone and hear this all constant every time you bounce, then the bungee cords are awesome.
Yeah.
They're also a little less resistant, little less response, and longer travel. So it's for people who don't like the...
They're smooth and gentle compared to...
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
And it's not like really a massive difference either, right? Like it's not like, it's jerky with the spring. It's not the case at all. But
so the one that we sell with springs, it's called Cellercizer, and that still has awesome springs. They are the barrel-shaped springs, which means that they don't unload their kinetic energy on you in one go. Right. The cheap rebounders, the ones with the straight springs that look like you took them off of some lawn chair or something like that, that is almost as much fun as bouncing on cardboard. It hits you with this full force. The Cellercizer is quite different. It still has a decent amount of travel on it.
Yeah. So would you recommend, I'm not sure, it doesn't show in this picture, if there's like a holding thing? Like I know on one of them there was bars that you could hold.
It's available. It's optional, but it's available.
Okay. Because I thought, it depends on who you are and how old you are and all the rest of that. But I found that sometimes I would go off a little bit on an angle. Yeah. And it was nice to be able to hold on to something. And
yeah.
Unless you're right by the wall or something, then you'd have to work, I guess.
So the handlebar or the stabilization bar is a useful thing because it helps you to catch yourself if you're losing your balance. But you could put a dining room chair nearby.
So there's always things you can work around for sure.
Right. Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it's totally useful. And of course, after a few years, you develop so much balance that you will not need that.
That's right.
Stability.
Well, right, because we're really talking about people that are getting a little bit older and they're losing their testosterone. And what is the other problem that we have is balance, losing your balance, being off balance a little bit.
Yeah,
one of the reasons I loved the hot yoga was I really felt my balance was amazing. And and the trampolines and the cellularizers will really help with that in a gentle way. Like, you can be any age, right? I mean, if you're 95 years old and you've never bounced, like, you can just get on and just do like this, right? And if you've been doing it since you were a teenager, then you can, bounce all you want. So it's totally up to you how you use it.
Exactly that.
All right. There we go. Cool. You're on the wrong side, Martin. So here we are.
Sleeping on my side of the bed, partner.
That's right.
Okay.
So we know that magnesium is low in our food. We know that if you drink coffee and alcohol, it depletes it. High stress depletes it. Sugar, refined carbs deplete it. Yeah. Overtraining and not recovering properly will deplete it.
Those all are also what depletes your testosterone.
Exactly.
Every one of those.
Yeah. So that's the key. So magnesium is one of the foundational minerals for your health. And you want to be looking at magnesium-rich foods. We talked about a few of them. And then supplementing them either by sticking something in your mouth or by sticking your feet in some water with magnesium or having a hot bath. And I have to tell you that, I'm in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, and I'm visiting my mom. And she has a wonderful bathtub in the spare bathroom. So I'm visiting her and I look at her and I go, Mom, I'm going to go have a bath. And like, I'm visiting, like I'm not staying there, right? It was this was kind of weird for me. But in the drawer, I had one of the magnesium, the big bottle of magnesium by...
Is it the oil or is it something else?
The oil, yeah. It's neutralizer. That neutralizer.
That's the Miracle 2 neutralizer.
That's right, the Miracle 2. So I'm running it as hot as I can, and I'm squirting a bunch of this into it. And 15 minutes later, I'm just like, I feel so good.
Yes.
And we go to spas and we spend $100 on, or $200 or $300 on a spa day. When you have a bathtub, spend $20 or $30 and get the magnesium, stick it in, put a couple lily pads or flowers in there if you want to give it a nice smell, or essential oil, right? Frankincense or something. And then you have your, put a candle in the corner, turn the light out, and you've got your own spa. And people don't take that, you'll take all day to go and pay somebody $200 or $300, and you won't take half an hour to just do it on a whim on any other day, right? It's like we've got it backwards.
Yeah, the half an hour holiday in a bathtub with magnesium is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. All right, Martin, we've come to the end of our time together. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day and everybody for joining us. This was a pre-recorded. I meant to say this at the beginning, and I just remembered now. Pre-recorded because tomorrow on Wednesday at our regular time, I'm on a plane, and we didn't want to miss a week. But I can't do it from the plane with the 200 people beside me. I'd be too self-conscious. Hi, everybody! You're on the internet live streaming. So thank you very much for joining us. And this has been the Life Enthusiast Health Shots podcast, restoring vitality to you and the planet. See you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.
My body's a temple, but the walls are cracked. Stuck in the rubble of the years I've stacked. Stagnation in my veins like a river turned to dust. Toxic whispers in the wind, but I gotta rebuild. I must.